Hello, I'm Elena and this is my channel, Elena Drinks Beer. I am finally free. I am delving back into making videos and I'm very excited because I actually have a lot of ideas and I've actually had some requests for videos, which is the video that I'm making today. A lot of people have asked me to do a video on how to choose beer, specifically from the perspective of someone who hasn't had a lot of beer or isn't a big drinker in general. And honestly, I put off doing this video for a long time because one, it's kind of weird to think of myself as an expert because I'm really just someone who likes beer a lot and makes YouTube videos about it and talks and likes to hear themselves talk. But two, I honestly just couldn't remember what I did because believe it or not, there was a time in my life where I didn't drink beer. You know, actually, I would say most of my life. I really had to sit down and think, what did I even do? Like, how did I even get into this type of alcoholic beverage? Because it's just been so long now that I'm like, what did I do? And what could be easily replicated by other people. And I actually narrowed it down to 3 things. So this is, if you've seen any of my other videos, this is much more organized than most of them. I'm gonna go over 3 ways that I think you could use at home to acclimate yourself to beer, to expand. If you already like beer, you could expand your beer drinking range. You know, your genres could expand. And I think it's gonna be helpful, hopefully, and easy to follow. So let's just jump into it with my first step, and I think this is the most important one and the thing that I personally did the most that helped me develop my beer palate, and that is trying a wide variety of beers. And before you stop watching this video because that sounds really overwhelming, I think there's a really easy way to do that, and it's called building a mix-a-six. So I don't know if mix-a-six is a term that is used nationally. It was definitely used in Pennsylvania. There were stores there like Wegmans and Sheetz. These are stores that probably a lot of you don't know what they are, but where these stores would create a section and it would literally say mix a six, and you could grab an empty 6-pack holder with, you know, whatever. It would be like $9.99 for the thing, and then there would be all of these single beers. You could pick single beers. When I came to Texas, mix-a-six is not like a term that's used a lot here, but I think it's pretty obvious what I'm saying. Go somewhere, find a store where they sell single beers, and just grab 6 different styles of beer. Grab an IPA, grab a sour, grab a stout, maybe get something like a blonde ale or a Hefeweizen. Just wander, meander, look at all of the different things. Don't get 6 IPAs, get 6 different unique styles of beer. If you are a beer novice, this is the best way to jump right in and sort of get a sense of what you like, what you don't like. And I think what makes beer so much more appealing to me than wine is that beer is just so much more manageable. You know, if you were to go to a liquor store or a wine specialty store and grab 6 bottles of wine, you would be in so much more like financially for that. And if you are going to taste those back to back to back, like they tell you to do when you're trying to learn how to drink wine, you're opening potentially 2-3 bottles of wine in one sitting for just you. And then what? You've just got 3 open bottles of wine. You're gonna drink them all in one night? Like, no, I literally physically couldn't do that. And then you save them, and then like, what if you didn't like it? Or like 2 days later, it doesn't taste good anymore. With beer, the cost buy-in to just get 6 beers, even if they're charging not a flat rate for the mix-a-six, but like per individual can, is just so much lower. Like you can just grab 6 beers, you're in 10-12 bucks, you can have 3 in a night, you feel fine, and you're tasting them back to back to back, and you are getting a sense of what you like. I would say another good way to do this, like if you just really don't want to try them in your home and you want to go have an experience, is find a brewery that does flights. I would say almost all breweries these days offer a flight option where you can get, they're just small glasses, a couple ounces. You can get 4 different kinds of beer and really start to hone in on where you're at with things. Do you literally hate everything? Maybe beer is not for you, but chances are you're gonna like at least something. Just make a mental note. You don't have to have a notebook for this. Just make a mental note. I like this, I didn't like that. And then do it again. And do it again and do it again until you really know what you like and you're really enjoying it. I would say step number 2 would be using flavor as a compass. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Think about the drinks you already like, non-alcoholic drinks. Do you like kombucha? Then you might like a beer that is more sour. Do you love coffee? Try a coffee stout. But you could even think of like just foods you like. Do you love mango? Then go find a mango forward IPA or a sour that is mango in flavor. I think that this is another great place to start. I get so mad because so many guys specifically, usually, are like, fruit beers? So girly. It's like fruit beer, like, let's be honest, just like having something that tastes a little bit more like a soft drink or a little bit like fruitier and sweeter and nicer, like, is probably going to be more appealing if you haven't had a lot of beer before, especially if you've only ever tasted sips of like someone's Coors Light or something. Having like a fruity, fun beer as a starting place is not a bad thing at all. And there are so many, I feel like the sours have just like exploded within the past few years. So there are so many fruit forward beers that are not just like girly drinks anymore. Like they're hefty imperial sours with tons of flavor. So yeah, use flavor. That was a little bit of a rant, but use flavor as a guide. Think about foods or drinks you already like and use that to sort of guide you toward beers that share those same characteristics. And also just, you know, don't let people give you shit if you like fruity beers. And my final step, there is a hair floating right in front of my camera. Let's get a drink. I actually can't believe how coherent I sound right now. This is incredible. I honestly don't remember what my last step is. Let's look it up. My third and final piece of advice for trying to get into drinking beer would be to pair it with something savory and salty. Pairing beer with a classic bar kind of snack like salty peanuts or chips or popcorn or pizza is going to make you want to drink beer more. This is completely unscientific and maybe this is a cop-out third reason, but I just think back to like specific moments in my life, like when I first started drinking beer and I just wasn't that into it. I just remember one time I made like a frozen pizza and had just like a crappy Bud Heavy and something clicked in my mind. And I think to compare it to wine again, wine and food pairings is like a big deal to people. People really care about that. And I think beer, not so much, but beer and food pairings can be really fun. And so I think starting there early on, even just with like snack food or junk food, like just make it fun. Try it with something you know you already like. Beer can be very refreshing if you're eating something highly salty. I think the carbonation and the flavors of like most beers are gonna just pair well and kind of cut through that intensity of the food. Just don't be afraid to pair it with food. I think that can be just a nice place to sort of break up your drinking process too. Like have a few chips, have a sip of your beer, and you might just start to think about it and view it and taste it a little bit differently. Those are all of the things that I did that helped me to expand my beer palate, for lack of a better word. And I think that those would be really great places to start for you guys. If you're not a big beer drinker, or if you're even just trying to get out of a rut with beer. You know, if you've just been drinking IPAs for 3 years, go get a mix of 6. Try some Hefeweizens. Like, mix it up, man, and enjoy it. It's just beer. It's not serious. It's not wine. Okay, I don't know why I'm like just using this video as an excuse to shit talk wine. But anyway, I hope that this was helpful for you. And go ahead and give this video a like if you liked it, or if you didn't, just like it anyway. And subscribe to my channel. And yeah, keep coming back. Share it with a friend. All the things. Yes, okay.